Boomers have driven our culture since the day I was born. When we were draft age, that was when the draft really mattered. And when we were listening to rock and roll, that's when music really mattered. And when people needed to make money for their family, that's when Wall Street really mattered. And now boomers are dying. And so we are living in a culture where there's an overhang of all these people with loud voices talking about the end of the world, because it's the end of their world, but it's not the end of the world. The world is going to be whatever the world is. Approaching it with a positive, energetic attitude probably will make your experience of the world better than girding yourself by being a pessimist and maybe getting what you're hoping for. I find myself coming back frequently, particularly in the last bunch of years when there's been so much doom and gloom, to this idea that we get to pick our attitude. And in fact, it's the only thing each of us truly gets to pick. And it doesn't mean what happened to you is what you deserve. It just means that that happened. Now you get the one and only choice, which is how to process that. But I find myself in negative ruts when I'm confronted by too much media, when a human being finds a thing that means something to them, a chance for a path forward, a pathway to hope, everything in their life gets better. For many people, I'm not generalizing everyone, but for many people, finding a path toward hope, of meaning, of realizing that the struggle is the struggle, but you get to decide what to do with it, is really profound. And I think as our industrialized world has gotten more narcissistic, which basically says marketers need to make you uncomfortable so that you will buy more stuff to feel better about yourself and your standing, marketers are trying to push people to find meaning in purchases. And the problem with that, also in friends and likes and social media nonsense, the problem with that is it doesn't scale. And after you've got one storage room full of stuff, buying more things doesn't seem to help you find more meaning. And I really feel like we're in this moment in our culture, this moment in time, where people are waking up and saying, thank you very much, but I don't need to buy another thing. What I need to do is find something to care about. I went to see a community orchestra last week. My friend is in it, all volunteers. And the thing about community orchestras is there are violinists and flautists and oboists who get paid money to do it. But no one in the community orchestra is saying, why aren't I getting paid? Because that's not why they're there. In fact, they often pay to be there. And I'm guessing, with no data whatsoever, that if you surveyed people who are in community orchestras, they probably index happier and more engaged in life than people who aren't. And so the question is, where are we going to find our community orchestra? I've written 20 books. I wrote Permission Marketing, which invented but I don't need to write books. I don't wake up in the morning the way I used to saying, what I do for a living is write books. What should I write about now? I only write one when I have no choice. And 2.5 years ago, I read The Magnificent Ministry for the Future by Kim Stanley Robinson. And it completely upended the way I saw the world. It was astonishing to me how much I didn't know about what was happening to the climate. And I realized that I wasn't talking about what marketing and corporations were doing to the climate because I felt stupid. And the reason I felt stupid is they wanted me to feel stupid, that they want us to be confused. And I thought, well, if I'm underinformed, I bet other people are too. And I used to make almanacs for a living. I did the Business Almanac, the People Magazine Celebrity Almanac. I know how to make a complicated, long book. But I realized, A, it would take me too long, and B, it would be really lonely. So what an opportunity. I downloaded Discourse, set it up, invited some people to join me. And within a month, we had 300 volunteers, most of whom I have never met in person. And in 150 days, we built, edited, footnoted, researched, copy edited, illustrated a 97,000 word book with no errors in it. All as volunteers around the world, 24 hours a day, trading shifts. And the process of building it found solace for all of us. And I learned so much, which I incorporated in the new book, about what a community can do when people are enrolled. And I also learned a lot like plastic recycling is a fraud. And Exxon knew long ago about what was happening to the climate. And my favorite is that carbon footprint, the concept, was invented by Ogilvy and Mather for their client, British Petroleum, as a way of getting privileged people to feel guilty about their behavior. And if you feel like a hypocrite, maybe you won't speak up. So I don't have to point out that I'm more pure than other people, because I'm not. Now, after just a few minutes of the podcast, we have to put onto the table a very simple statement, which is we're all going to die. But that was true 50 years ago too. And there's a great book that I loved called The Last Policeman. And I'm not sure I'd say it's a great book. It's a great concept, and I really loved reading it. Imagine that there's an asteroid that's going to hit the Earth in a year and destroy and kill all of us. It's not, don't look up. It just starts with that premise. And then it's a police procedural book about the last policeman left in a little village in New Hampshire. Because everybody else says, screw it, we're all going to be dead in a year. So marriages break up. Why would you go to work to clean the fryer if you know you only have a year left to live? Supermarkets fall apart. But he goes to work every single day because we're all going to die. Maybe not in a year, but no one listening to this is going to be alive in 100 years. Even some Silicon Valley billionaires who are getting blood transfusions aren't going to be alive, right? And so the only question is, are you going to die in a year or 100 years? And when we look at the data on the climate, it's very clear that there are going to be 10, 20, 30, 40 million climate refugees every year. That whole swaths of the earth are going to become uninhabitable. It's not going to be pleasant for many people. Can we, quote, fix it and go back to, I don't know when? No. Is it a problem that we should address? Definitely. But that doesn't mean we could do anything to live forever. So given that we're all going to die, the question is, what's the point of tomorrow? And for me, I think the key question coming at this, as someone who went to Stanford Business School a very long time ago, is some people believe that the purpose of business is to enable culture, to enable humanity. And some people believe that the purpose of humanity and culture is to enable business. And I think those people have too much influence right now, and they are wrong.